Hello, my friends, and let me again say welcome to another episode of John Sports Corner. And again, I'd like to thank you for your support and for the fast growth that we have been experiencing on this platform. So, without any further ado, let me say, John, it's all yours.
Thank you so much, Trevor. And once again, a very good afternoon to our family and friends across the board. Thank you for visiting and staying with John Sports Corner on the SosoBone Media Network. I just want to remind you to go to Winner Circle Radio store in the SosoBone shop and shop until you drop. Again, there are t-shirts there are mugs, backpacks, of course, sorrel that goes so well instead of maybe a hard liquor. And then, of course, you can top it off with the great Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee. You can get a couple packets to start your morning. My special guest this afternoon is Rocco Avallone, president of the Long Island Soccer League, and he's also the third vice president of the Eastern New York State Soccer Association. Rocco, welcome to John's Sports Corner.
Thank you, John. Thank you for having us. And hopefully I can provide some interesting information for everyone, all the listeners here.
Let's start with Sal Rapaglia, Rocco, the former Long Island Soccer League president who died recently after serving a mammoth, I can say, 45 years as president. Sort of give us your reflection on Sal.
Sure. But Sal was the president of the Eastern New York State Soccer Association, not Long Island.
Okay.
I've known Sal since, I'm going to say, I was about 17 years old. So going back to the early 80s. He was a great man, a great visionary in the field of sports. As far as I'm concerned, he's one of the main architect to sporting environment that we live here in New York State and throughout the country. He was one of the pioneers with the United States Soccer Federation going way back when it was first started, especially here in New York when they had their office here. He's going to be greatly missed. He has now been replaced by the new president, Peter Pinori. And the state association is going to move forward. And obviously, we're always going to remember Sal for all the great things he's done.
I met Sal for the first time back in the 90s when he attended one of our Caribbean Cup games in Brooklyn. And subsequently, when I attended the monthly meetings, and I always admired how Sal conducted meetings, particularly Rocco,
Yes.
how he tapped on the table to bring the meeting to order, or when the meeting is kind of going out of kilter, that he would tap on the table to bring it back.
Right. Every once in a while, the meetings did go off on different tangents.
Yes.
And leave it to Sal to get everybody back on the same road. Sal knew how to control a meeting. Basically, it was his way or the highway.
Well,
A lot of respect at these meetings where people would listen to him and they knew when to talk and when not to talk. When Sal was speaking, nobody talks, and let him talk and give his opinion as to what needed to be done.
And I can't remember him or seeing him raising his voice in anger. He's always like so calm.
Yes. Sal had a way of getting people to come onto his side of opinion. And the way he would do that, like you said, he had a calm manner of the way he would speak to people to get them to say, you know what, maybe I was wrong. I think you're right, Sal. Let's do it your way. So,
And you know, as a testament to his work in soccer, in 2006 he was awarded the Werner Fricker Builders Award, which is the highest allocated in U.S. soccer
that's true.
that can bestow on anyone. And last year, he was named life member of U.S. soccer.
That's correct. Yes. In fact, I was the one who presented him to the federation. Uh, People who were put in as life members, somebody had to introduce them to the membership so they can vote on it. And I was asked to be the one to introduce them. So that was a good honor, a nice honor for me to do for Sal. And he really appreciated it. They actually gave him a
Mhm,
ring, which he
mhm,
loved. And I believe he might have been buried with that ring on. That's how much
mm,
he really cared for it.
mm. Now, while I believe the Long Island Soccer League was formed in 1948, but Sal played a role in how it has expanded and developed today. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, Sal, as the president of the Eastern New York State Soccer Association, was uh, involved with all the different leagues. In regards to Long Island, he would come to a lot of our meetings. He would talk to me many times within the last 5 years that I've been the president. He would call me up and ask me, "Do you need anything? How's the league going? Uh, any issues? If there are, we can help. I'll come to one of your meetings if we need to talk to anybody." So he was like the mother hen that would
Mm,
always like to make sure his children, and that's the leagues that were
mm,
under the Eastern New York, he considered them as children, that everyone was doing well. And if there was a problem, he would try to resolve it, either call a meeting, call the individuals to come in and speak with them one on one. So he was a good communicator.
How many divisions make up Long Island Soccer League?
Long Island currently has 6 divisions. The top division is called the Premier Division. We have a Division 1, Division 2, then we have an over 30 division, over 40 division, and an over 50 division. Plus, we do what we call the Ryder Voss U23 tournament, and that's basically the top tournament during the summer where all the college players, when they come back home because their soccer season's over, to stay in shape, they all participate in this tournament. And it's one of the biggest tournaments in the metropolitan area. We have anywhere between 20 to 30 teams that play from June all the way to the first week of August. Because
Mhm.
after the first week, that's when all the players have to go back to their colleges to start preparing for their season.
Mm.
So it's
Is there a limitation on how many teams are in each division?
no, there's no limit. We try to get a even amount, 10, 12 teams per division. So it's easier to control and schedule the games. If
Mhm.
it's an odd number, then there's always going to be a bye week when someone can't play. But for the most part, it's pretty much worked out where we always have an even number of teams in the division. And sometimes we even break up that division into 2 groups. So this way, the winners play each other in the playoffs, which are coming up this week.
And what's the process or the requirement of a team joining or joining a club or a club joining the league?
Right. Um, we have clubs throughout all of Long Island, from the East End going all the way as far as Brooklyn. Um, and obviously, most of them are in Nassau County and Suffolk County. Basically, all you do need is a minimum of 18 players. Uh, that would cover your fee. With joining the league, uh, you end up having insurance, not only liability insurance, but also medical insurance through an organization that's called the United States Adult Soccer Association. They also get to participate in all the different cup games, either State Cup or League Cup. Plus, the United States Adult Soccer Association has different regions, and each region has their own cups. We happen to be in Region 1, so they can also participate in Region 1 cups. So there are a lot of games to be played, not only their regular season, playoffs, plus a lot of cup games.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you about the differences between State Cup, League Cup, and an Open Cup.
Right. Okay. The difference are, if you think of a pyramid, on top of the pyramid is the United States Soccer Federation. They run the U.S. Open Cup. Now,
Okay.
a lot of the professional teams put their, we'll call B teams in there, but it's open to all the amateur clubs also. In New York, many of our teams from Eastern New York State Soccer Association participate in that Open Cup. One of them actually won it many years ago, before the MLS was involved. So you have teams like Greek Americans, Pancifians, Lansdowne, teams like that. So that's part of the Open Cup. Then below that are the Region Cups that are run, which is the next tier in the pyramid I mentioned, part of the United States Adult Soccer Association. So we're in Region 1, so they're Region 1 cups. Those cups are going to be played on June 15 and 16 in Pennsylvania. So we have teams going there from Long Island. And below that are the state associations. In our case, it's Eastern New York State Soccer Association. And the state cups we have every year. All the leagues within Eastern New York participate in these cups. And depending on what division you're in, that's the cup that you're going to play in. So this way, you're not going to have a premier team playing a low-level club that's got no chance of winning. So we kind of keep them together. Division 2 will play against another Division 2 team from a different league. A premier team will play another premier team from a different league within Eastern New York. And then you have the regular league cups within our league. We have it ours. We start in September. And once you get knocked out, you're out, and the finals are usually held in early April, which we just did ours last month. So those are the different cups, and that's how it works.
So do you have winter and summer leagues tournaments?
What we do is basically, it's not, the league season starts in the fall in September and it ends in June, basically like the professionals do. We go throughout the whole year. We take a break during the winter between late December to first week of March. There's no league games, but we have indoor where teams can still stay in shape and play indoor tournaments.
Oh, okay.
And then we continue, pick up where you left off in December. You pick it up in March, and you continue until this weekend coming up, the playoffs. The teams have made it to the playoffs. So at the end of the day, if you're a good team, you could end up playing anywhere between 20 and 25 games throughout the season, which is a lot. Not counting the indoor season and things of that nature. We're also planning on doing what we're calling short-sided fields for the summer. It's an 8v8 tournament. And we take basically a soccer field, but instead of going the long way, we cut it in half and we go diagonal or vertical, up and down. So all you need is 8 on 8. So you can actually play 2 games on one field at the same time. So that's
and is it with regulation goals or it's A smaller version of a
More
goal.
smaller goals because it's a
Yeah.
smaller field. We make it smaller.
Talk a little bit about co-ed soccer. What is there co-ed soccer and what are the age groups?
I'm sorry, what kind of soccer?
Co-ed.
Oh, co-ed, yes.
Yeah.
We started co-ed, I'm going to say about 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We do that mostly in the in the winter, after our fall season is completed, and we played indoor. It's co-ed. The rules are you have to have at least 2 females on the field at all times.
Mm.
So we play 8v8. Of the 8 players, 2 of them have to be females.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been going very well. A lot of females, a lot of women are interested in playing. Especially we play midweek, so that kind of helps them, whatever type of work they're doing. If they're a stay-at-home mom or they actually have a career, whenever they get home, they're able to come at night and exercise and play some soccer with the men. And believe it or not, some of these women, almost all of them have played college soccer. So many of them are better than the men. They are tremendous players. So it's enjoyable to watch.
Yeah. Is it indoor or is it indoor or outdoor?
Indoor. It's
It's
indoor.
indoor. Is there an age limit?
There's
Then.
no real age limit. So basically, we would have a team that may have a 50-year-old man and some 20-year-olds plus 2 female players. So as long as the players can keep up with each other, it's fine. There's no slide tackling. We always have a referee,
Mm-hmm.
a certified ref that's given to us by Eastern New York State Soccer Association. They provide the referees to the league.
If I have a team, Rocco, and wish to play in the Long Island Soccer League, what's the process? Where do I start?
Sure. We have an application that you have to fill out. Basically, a lot of pedigree information, the name of the team, who the contact person is, the head coach or the manager, where you play, what location. Are you in Nassau County, Suffolk County, Queens? Do you have a field? Where's the field located? And they have to put down a down payment of $500 so we can hold their spot, because in August, that's when we create the schedule. So if you haven't put down a deposit, there's no guarantee that you're going to be on the schedule, because we can't put you on the schedule and at the end you say, sorry, we can't play. And then at the end, we're going to have to change everything around. So we ask for a deposit. And then the whole fee is going to be $1,500. Plus, if you're a new team, we ask for a $500 bond, which we will give back to you after 2 seasons. You get it back. It's just to make sure you're not there 1 year and then you leave.
Yeah.
So in other words, we try to run it very more professional way, which all the players and the teams appreciate. They don't want to come to some league that's a fly-by-night league and they don't care, don't take it. Yeah, they don't take it too serious. So they pay their registration fee. That covers 18 players. Depending on what division you're in, you can sign up to as much as 40 players for your team. In the over 40, over 50, we don't put a limitations on how many players you can sign because of the age. Players get hurt, players decide not to play anymore. So like over 50, if you want, technically you can sign 100 players. So once you get past 18 players, then each player, there's an extra registration fee. I believe it's $40 or $50 to register anybody above 18 players. Part of that money goes to pay for the insurance, for the fields, for the liability, for the medical, and pays for the state cup games, things of that nature, and for some type of media advertisement. I think $5 goes to that. I'm not sure. I haven't seen it, but that's where it goes.
Yeah. No, so something I've thought about quite often. There is so much soccer being played on Long Island,
Yes.
yet Long Island does not have a major league soccer team.
Yes.
What prevents that from happening?
A lot of it, believe it or not, has to do with politics. You know, there's people who basically don't want to give it to a certain area on Long Island. They rather keep it in the New York City area. So there's a lot of politics involved. Plus, you need space. Long Island does have space, especially, for example, a few years ago they were talking about the Nassau Coliseum,
Mm-hmm.
where they used to play the hockey, the
Right.
Islanders.
Mm-hmm.
Now, really, it's being used, but nothing serious. Like before, that would have been a good place to put a soccer stadium. The place where they're going to put it now is going to be right next to Citi Field, where the New York Mets play.
Okay.
That's where the New York City Football Club is going to move in the next couple of years. They're starting to build it now.
Mm.
So they got the stadium. So
Right. 2026 FIFA World Cup in the US.
right.
How does that impact soccer
Well,
in US and on Long Island for that matter?
sure, it's going to have a tremendous impact. As we all recall, back in 1994, when the World Cup came here the first time, that's when the professional league developed the next year, because there was a lot of interest in soccer. The kids would see it on TV. They tell their parents, I want to go play soccer. And they started to join the youth leagues. And then we got the adults, the 20-year-olds, 25-year-olds, they all wanted to play. And a lot of the leagues, the adult leagues, just exploded with the players because they all got that bug. They were all bitten by the bug, the soccer bug, to play soccer. So I think it's going to be the same next year in 2026. When you start seeing the ads on TV, you start seeing the players, Messi, Ronaldo, all these players coming to the United States. There's going to be a tremendous interest in either people wanting to go to watch the games or want to start playing the game. So I'm hoping that's going to help the leagues within New York. Long Island, Cosmopolitan League, Eastern District Soccer League, all hopefully are going to get a taste of the benefits of the World Cup.
U.S. women have won the FIFA World Cup 4 times. Do U.S. men have to win the FIFA World Cup to really see significant changes in the acceptance of the game here?
I don't know if they have to win it, because the men's game is a lot more popular than the women's game, even though the United States women's team has done a phenomenal job winning the 4 World Cups, plus winning so many other cups in between the World Cups. And the problem now for the women is a lot of these countries are catching up to them. And you can tell when they play, they don't win like they used to, 5-0, 7-0. Now they win 2-1, 2-0, 1-0, or they'll tie 1-1. So a lot of these countries, European countries, Brazil, Mexico, they've all kind of caught up to the United States women's team. In regards to the men, I don't think we need to win the World Cup this time. What we do need to do is advance within the cup.
Mm-hmm.
If we get knocked out in the first 3 games, that's not good for the federation. It's not good for the United States men's team. If we
Mm-hmm.
were to advance, say, into the quarterfinals, semifinals, I think that would go tremendously towards building a foundation to the men's professional national team. We can't get knocked out in the first 3 games. In other words, if we don't make it into the next round, that's going to be a major problem. If we do advance, and we advance, I'm going to say at least to the quarterfinals, then we'll be okay. We're still not at the level of some of the European teams, some of the South American teams, even some of the Caribbean teams are very strong, and they've gotten stronger and stronger throughout the years. I've seen Jamaica play last couple of months ago. It might have been against the United States or some other team I was watching on TV, and they were tremendous. The way they run up and down, the stamina, the skills that they have compared to, say, maybe 5-10 years ago. It's like day and night. So the world is catching up to everyone. You still have Brazil, Argentina, Germany, France, Italy as the powerhouse, but they're not unbeatable, like, say, maybe 10 years ago.
Right.
Smaller nations, I think, can surprise some of these teams. And we saw that at the last World Cup. Some of the games, Brazil, I think they got murdered in their first game. It was 8-9-0, maybe more. I forgot the exact score.
Yeah.
So, you got to be prepared. You can't underestimate your opponent.
Right. But if the US men were to win a World Cup, would it impact salaries for Major League Soccer teams here, for players on Major League Soccer teams here?
Oh, I absolutely. If the United States was to win the World Cup, if it's not now, 4 years down the road, and I think it's Saudi Arabia, I think they're going to play. I think that's going to go very far in establishing the salary structure for a lot of the MLS players, because I think the world will realize, you know what, MLS is not a second tier professional league anymore. They can play with the Premier in England, with the Serie A in Italy, the Bundesliga in Germany, and with the more money that the teams are able to pay, you're going to get better players from Europe coming here. Instead of the American players now going to Europe. Will be the reverse, hopefully. And once you do that, you get the big names here in the United States, you're going to see a lot of the stadiums packed, sold out. You saw it last year with Messi. When Messi started to play, all his games were sold out. You couldn't buy a ticket.
I know, because one of my sons live in Florida.
There you go.
And he says the season passes were down here, and now they're up here.
Yeah.
But Messi's there. I want to get your view on something though, Rocco, and it regarding the video assistant referee VAR and the offside rule. I have a problem with this offside rule.
Yeah, that makes two of
Should
us.
FIFA look at this offside rule, because an elbow or a toe is over the line and it's offside? To me, that's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yes. You're 100% right. I have the same issue, John. You watch a game, say you're watching your favorite team, and they score a beautiful goal.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, everything stops, and you start to wonder, why aren't they starting the game again? What's going on? And then you realize there's got to be a VAR check. And then you're saying, why? and then they'll show it to you, and sometimes they'll show you the animation
Yes.
where they actually, like you said, John, they'll show where the person's toe maybe is
Yeah.
1 inch, and they
Yes.
call it
Yes.
offside, and that I can't take. To me,
Because
I don't think that's
I
the
remember
purpose of the VAR.
last weekend I was watching an English Premiership game. I forget who it is. They scored the second goal, and they took about 10 minutes to decide if it was offside. And I'm saying that's ridiculous.
I agree. There should be a time limit.
If you can't determine it immediately,
Right. Because I agree. If you can't decide within, I would say within the first 3 or 4 minutes, you got to leave it the way it was called on the field.
Yeah.
Because if they can't tell, looking at it slow motion, you can't blame the referee for allowing the goal to count. It was in full speed. So, that I don't like. It stops the game, it stops the flow of the game.
Right.
Yeah, so they have to fix it.
Who is your favorite player, Rocco?
See, as an Italian, I grew up going back Paolo Rossi, Roberto Baggio.
Yeah.
Then I'm a Juventus fan. So
Okay.
you have, Del Piero. You have Buffon, goalkeeper.
In goal, yeah.
Yeah. Here in the United States, I remember as a kid where I really got involved with soccer was with the North American Soccer League, the New York Cosmos.
Yes.
So obviously Pele, who I saw play, I was maybe 12 years old when I saw him play at the time, Giant Stadium, it was called. And you had Franz Beckenbauer, Giorgio Chinaglia. So there's a lot of, there's just so many great plays. Obviously today you got Messi, who's getting older. Ronaldo's getting older. There's a lot of good players everywhere, Just too many to name now. Especially there are so many games on TV compared to years ago when maybe you see one game a week.
Exactly.
Every day. Right now I can go on TV and I'll find a soccer game.
Right. And you talk about Ronaldo. Recently, they made a couple of weeks or last week making a big deal that his 15-year-old his son is playing under 15 for Portugal.
Scored 2 goals. Scored 2 goals.
But actually, I was going to ask you about your favorite team, but you said it's Juventus.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you call there was a player that played with the Long Island Soccer Football League and now plays with Juventus. His name, Tim Weah.
Yeah, Tim Weah, yeah.
His father, obviously, George.
I know his.
With AC Milan.
Yeah.
Tim played in the Long Island Soccer Football League.
And I know his dad.
Young, for 1 or 2 years, I don't remember.
I met his dad a few years ago, actually. Is there anything else you would like to mention about Long Island Soccer League that we haven't touched on, Rocco?
The Long Island Soccer Football League is the oldest adult soccer league on Long Island. There are numerous leagues that have been started within the last 10 years, but Long Island Soccer Football League has been around since, like you stated in the beginning, since 1948. We've grown every year, gotten bigger and bigger. We are professionally run. We have a board of directors. We have delegate meetings once a month. We have what we call the annual general meeting at the end of every season. And we have tremendous amount of individuals that have come through the Long Island Soccer Football League who went and ended up playing professionally. Chris Thomas played in Long Island Soccer Football League. I mentioned Tim Weah, and there's many others that went on to play either in the North American Soccer League or currently playing in the MLS.
Right.
We are all over Long Island. Our motto is LISFL, we cover Long Island, and we actually cover everywhere.
Mm.
We have numerous fields that we have permits for. So if a team does not have a field but wants to join the league, we can provide a field for them.
Okay.
So that even though we ask that each team have their own field, but obviously fields are hard to get. They're scarce throughout not only New York City, also on Long Island, and we do have eight, approximately 8 fields that we can put teams in to play at different times during the day on weekends. We play Sundays. There are makeup games, and there's no Sundays available to make up the game. You play midweek under the lights. But the season is about to end. The new season starts in September, right after Labor Day. So we're in the process of starting to obtain applications for the 2025-2026 soccer season. So if anyone's interested, they can contact the league, or they can call me at 516-819-5404, and I can help them give them more information if they want it.
Can you repeat that number, please, Rocco? 516.
516-819-5404.
5404.
Correct. Plus, they can go on our website, LISFL.org.
Yeah. And you said your season is about to end now. Is there a final coming up, and where will it be played?
We have, the semifinals are coming up this weekend, and they're all over Long Island.
Yeah.
And then the finals are either June 8th or the week after, June 15th.
Okay.
Depending on the scheduling.
Yeah.
And then we have our annual general meeting where we give out the awards on June 23rd.
Can you say what teams are in the semifinal and where those games will be played?
I'll be honest with you, that you're going to check on the website. There's so many games. We're talking about 6 different divisions with semifinals. So I would go onto the website. The schedule is up. I do know one game for sure, only because my team is playing in it. I still play in the 50 division. And play with the Dix Hill Cosmos. We're playing against Garden City Centennials. And that game is going to be Sunday at 9 o'clock in the morning at the St. Paul Sports Complex in Garden City. Playing away on Sunday.
And again, the website is LISFL.org. Yeah. Okay. Well, Rocco, thank you, man, for joining John Sports Corner this Wednesday afternoon. And I hope this will not be our last conversation.
Absolutely. I appreciate the conversation. Obviously, you can tell I'm an attorney, but I love to talk soccer. So, and I appreciate the invite, John, and Professor. Thank you also.
Thank you too.
And hopefully we can do this again soon.
Yes.
Okay. Definitely. Okay, and much luck and success in the future, Rocco.
Thank you.
Thank you. And also I have to say thank you to one Mr. Bonnie Byfield.
Yes, Mr. Byfield,
for making this possible.
Was like a mentor to me. Whenever there's an issue with the Long Island Soccer Football League or I need any advice, Byfield is a person I go to get his opinion, his guidance as to what should do. He's been around in this league. I won't say since 1948, but he's been around a long time.
Well, I think Bonnie and myself were at the same club in Jamaica in 1960. What was that year? 64 or somewhere around there. Yeah. But again, thank you so much, Rocco, and much success in the future.
Thank you very much, John.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.